This is question 11 to question 15 for the assignment of chapter 9. Let's look at question 11. Pauli's Pizza offers one slice for $2, two slices for $3.50, three slices for $4.50, and four slices for $5. Sal orders two slices. From this, we know that Sal's marginal benefit from the second slice must be at least basically how much. Okay, we got a column of dollar values here, and the marginal benefit from the third slice must be less than how much. We need to calculate the marginal cost so that we can compare the marginal cost with the marginal benefit. It's basically we need to consider this decision, how this decision is made. So let's look at, I need to get rid of that one. Okay, so marginal cost for the one slice is what? $2, no question. For the second slice, the marginal cost is $3.50 minus $2, which is $1.5. The third slice, okay, so if you want to buy three slices, you pay $4.50, and from the second to the third, you need to pay basically extra $1. The first two slices together cost $3.50. So the marginal cost of the third slice is $1, and we can even just extend that to the fourth slice is $5 minus $4.5 means the first slice is really inexpensive, only $0.50. And what we know is that Sal only bought two slices. Okay, so here is the difference. Now, what's the marginal benefit for the second slice for Sal? It must be higher than $1.50, right? So what we know is basically this marginal cost for the second slice for Sal is less than his marginal benefit for the second slice. Okay. In other words, Sal's marginal benefit from the second slice must be at least $1.50. But he didn't go to the third one. Okay. Means what? He knows he done the calculation, right? You pay $1 extra, you get one extra slice. That's the calculation. Because, well, if you turn around, right, after you have eaten the two slices, you work for another 2 hours, come back, want to buy extra one slice, you pay $2. You need to pay this $2, not $1. So, based on this quantity purchased, there's a discount on the next slice. But this next slice, the third slice, is more expensive, cost more than the marginal benefit for Sal after he has got two slices. Okay, that's why he stopped. He stopped buying the third one. Right? He bought the first slice and the second slice, but not the third slice. The reason is because the marginal cost is higher than the marginal benefit for the third slice. But for the second one, the marginal benefit is higher than the second slice marginal cost. So it should be pretty clear which one is the answer. Now let's look at question 12. In this figure, the optimal quantity. The optimal quantity if the marginal benefit of lawn mowing decreased. The marginal what curve? We already talked about this. Marginal benefit, right? What curve will shift to the what direction? Okay. Obviously, we are going to do something about the marginal benefit curve here. The marginal benefit curve is this one, the downward sloping one. And then the optimal quantity would be more or fewer than 5 lawns mowed. The currently, right, 5 lawns mowed is the optimal. That's where the marginal cost equal to the marginal benefit, or say the marginal benefit equal to the marginal cost, that gives us the optimal quantity, right? We can do 6 lawns, and guess what? The marginal benefit is less than the marginal cost. We got a negative marginal net benefit, right? We got a negative marginal net benefit if you mow the 6th, right? The 6th lawn. So we don't want to do that. That sort of bring down our total. The problem is that you do the 6th unit, you bring down the total net benefit. Okay, so let's go back to this question. The marginal benefit of lawn mowing decreased. How do we know that? It's doing something like this. Okay, from this position, the initial position, going downwards. And so basically, vertically, what we have is from a higher level of marginal benefit to a lower level of marginal benefit. On the picture, what we see is sort of the curve move to the left. Okay, on the picture, we actually kind of move the marginal benefit curve to the left. And the result is, well, we can say our optimal quantity here, right? Where now we have a new point where the marginal cost is equal to the marginal benefit. This point different from this point. Okay, this is the original optimal quantity, and here my arrow is pointing to the new optimal quantity. We have a lower optimal quantity, right? Less than 5. So it should be pretty clear what the answer is. Now let's look at question 13. Use this table. Okay, we have 5 students. Each student has a willingness to pay number for 1 hour of tutoring. And for Sigmund, he can offer hours, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of tutoring of this intro psych class. And here's the question. If Sigmund can charge all students their willingness to pay, so all these numbers are the prices each student would like to pay to Sigmund for 1 hour of tutoring from him at the optimal hours of tutoring, right? So Sigmund need to decide optimal hours of tutoring, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours. Sigmund's total profit is how much? What's the total profit? Because Sigmund has a choice on the quantity that he will supply to the market, right? So we are basically facing a how much question. For that, we have to calculate the marginal benefit and the marginal cost. The marginal benefit here is come from different students. So what we are actually dealing with is, let's see, what we can think about. I will do it this way, different two columns. We will, just as the previous picture, get the marginal benefit from top to the lowest, from the highest to the lowest, from the initial units, 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, going in that direction. Let's do it. So, what do we have here? The first one, if he can do 1 hour, he can bring in 25 from Peter. He does 2 hours, he can bring $20 from Sally. See, Sally would like to pay, right, $20. And then 3 hours, he can bring in 15. Quincy, the $15 he can receive from Quincy. And then next number is $10. He can get $10 from Thomas. This practice is actually called perfect price discrimination, meaning that Sigmund can see the willingness to pay from each student, and he can charge them according to the highest amount they would like to pay, but not really offering them an hourly rate. Okay. Of course, the last one, the 5th hour, the marginal benefit he can get from the market is only from Rosemary. That's $5. That's our marginal benefit. And now let's look at the marginal cost. What is the marginal cost for Sigmund? Do you see it? It's actually just 5 all the way down. The first unit cost him $5. Second unit cost him $5. Fourth and the fifth. So, what is the optimum? I will say the optimal quantity to offer in the marketplace is just 4 lectures. So, sometimes we say the decision maker will go to the 5th unit where the marginal cost equal to the marginal benefit. The decision maker is the indifference between whether to do the last unit or not. In this situation, I will say, I can do 1 or less. Why not? Right? So, but anyway, the point is that, for this last one, it's kind of break even. It doesn't matter whether Sigmund does that the 5th hour for Rosemary or not. It really doesn't matter. So we can calculate, right? He will receive what kind of revenue for 4 hours? The revenue is, we add from 25 to 20 to 15 to 10, right? And then doing 4 hours of tutoring, right? This one, the $5 marginal cost is less than the $10 marginal benefit. He can get a net benefit of $10 or net marginal benefit of $5. Right? Sigmund can get a marginal net benefit of $5, 10 minus 5. Right? That increased the total net benefit. And the cost is actually, we don't have to add 4 $5 together. We have a number here, right? For 4 hours, the cost for Sigmund is $20, right? And you can calculate, right, the difference between the revenue and the total cost. So this is his cost is kind of implicit cost if he doesn't have any other thing better to do, right? So this can be an economic profit. Anyway, that's not the point here. The point is, right, how many hours he will offer to tutor, and then at which unit he will stop. And after he stop at that unit, right, that quantity has been decided. What is the total profit Sigmund can bring in? Let's look at question 14. Ian is such a big Braves fan that he benefit of seeing a Braves game is $200. He pays $100 for a ticket to see one of their playoff games. Unfortunately, he left the ticket in his jeans when he laundered them, and the ticket was destroyed. According to the marginal analysis, Ian should do what? Now, what is the marginal analysis looks like here? Making a bigger box for myself. The marginal benefit is $200. The marginal cost is $100 as long as $100 ticket is available. And the marginal benefit, right, is higher than the marginal cost. Very obvious. So one must ask, how about the lost ticket? The lost ticket is not involved here. Okay, we do not consider this laundered ticket because they are gone. It's basically the same thing as $100 disappear from Ian's wallet. Okay, just gone, and that is sunk. He cannot recover the $100 by whichever means. It's cannot be, you cannot get it back by spending any effort or money. Impossible. So you may want to buy digital tickets, something like that, or at least have a digital token, right? Cannot be laundered. But let's assume that's the situation. That is a sunk cost, the $100 laundered ticket. And then his next step is simply involve a decision whether he perform an action that bring in $200 in marginal benefit, and it only cost him $100. Okay, so he should do what? Right. The problem is oftentimes we consider, oh, I just lost $100. What should I do? I missed that $100. I should not have laundered it. Something like that. But if it's a rational decision, your next step never really involve what has been lost. Okay, you should forget about it. If you still have an extra $100, just go to the game. Okay. If the $100, ticket can give you the highest net marginal benefit, right? Yeah, you can get maybe, let's say, $50 ticket, but it can only give you $100 marginal benefit. And you look at this decision, the net marginal benefit of $200 minus $100 is $100, right? If you buy a $50 ticket, the seat may be way back in the stadium, and you can see nothing, right? Only some heads in front of you. Only kind of feel the atmosphere of the game, not really seeing any action clearly on the field. And you may only get like $100 benefit, marginal benefit. The result is that you have a net benefit for the cheaper ticket, right, of only $50. So you may not really want to do that. And as long as we assume, right, the paying $100 to get this $200 marginal benefit is a rational decision, it is utility maximizing decision, then he should keep doing that. As long as, again, if the 100, he can still cough up $100, right? Okay. D, watch that game on the TV. Again, whether the initial decision is a rational one, and as long as he has the $100, we assume Ian does have that amount of money. Okay, kind of unlimited saving around to purchase additional or new tickets. Right? We assume that is the situation in this kind of question, and we don't think he should watch the game on TV. Okay, now let's look at question 15. The decision to tip a server is an A. rational decision if the person leaving the tip is concerned about fairness. Here I want to emphasize there are several reasons, such as fairness or risk aversion, can be part of people's consideration when they are making decisions. So if fairness or risk avoidance, right, is their objective, they can be rational, okay, when they are making decisions involve a goal of fairness or risk aversion, okay. Risk aversion is not really risk avoidance. They don't avoid any risk, or say all the risk possible, right? You cannot really do that. All I'm saying in risk aversion is that people need to be compensated a little bit more than kind of on average, so that they are willing to take some risk. They want compensation for facing some kind of uncertain outcomes. Okay, so B is saying irrational decision, economic decision, because it reduces the economic payoff of the tipper. Not necessarily, right? Not necessarily really reduce the economic payoff. What if the tipper forgot to pay? He or she may feel guilty. And that can actually reduce the economic payoff, right? C, example of decision making using bounded rationality. This is not really the reason. It's not really a reason for tipping, right? We know tipping is more concerned about fairness. Okay, that is question 11 to question 15 for the assignment of chapter 9.